Have you ever wondered what drives someone to become a killer? Even more chilling, a killer of innocent, defenseless infants. Let's go back in time to the 80s in the heart of Texas. Here, a woman named Genene Jones was carving out a career as a pediatric nurse. She was seemingly ordinary, blending into the humdrum of hospital life. Her colleagues saw her as dedicated, always ready to step in when a child was unwell. Yet behind this facade of normalcy, a sinister plot was brewing, one that would shake the medical community to its core. A beloved caregiver by day, Jones harbored a terrifying secret by night. Beneath her crisp white uniform and the comforting hum of hospital machines, evil was lurking. As Jones administered medication and soothed worried parents, none could have guessed the horror that was yet to unfold. Genene Jones, a seemingly ordinary pediatric nurse, hid a dark secret beneath her uniform. In the 1980s, a terrifying reality unfolded in a Texas hospital. Pediatric nurse Genene Jones, a person entrusted with the lives of the most vulnerable, was perpetrating horrific acts of violence. Jones was convicted of killing infants under her care by administering lethal doses of medication. But this conviction was just the tip of the iceberg. As investigators dug deeper, they unearthed a chilling pattern. The number of sudden infant deaths at the hospital had soared during Jones's shifts. A dark suspicion began to form. Were there more victims? The mounting evidence suggested a horrifying truth. Jones may not have been a caregiver, but a serial killer hiding in plain sight. The extent of her crimes was a chilling revelation. The infants, so innocent and helpless, became victims of the very person tasked with their protection. Jones's actions were not only monstrous, but they were also cloaked in the guise of a caregiver. As the evidence piled up, Jones was finally brought to justice. The year was 1984, a year that would mark the beginning of a long overdue reckoning for the monster disguised in a nurse's uniform. Initially, Jones was charged and convicted for just one murder. But as investigators dug deeper into her past, a chilling pattern began to emerge. Medical records, witness accounts, and circumstantial evidence pointed to a horrifying reality. This wasn't an isolated incident. There were more victims, more innocent lives snuffed out under the guise of medical treatment. The courtroom was aghast as the prosecution presented case after case, each one painting a picture of a woman whose nurturing exterior hid a dark, lethal secret. The verdict was swift and resolute. Guilty. Jones was sentenced to 99 years in prison, but the story doesn't end there. The legal system is not without its flaws, and sometimes these flaws can have horrifying consequences. In the case of Genene Jones, a chilling loophole in the Texas law threatened to release her early from her 99-year sentence. An old law, designed to alleviate prison overcrowding, could have set her free in the early 2020s, despite her heinous crimes against the most vulnerable. The prospect of her early release sent shockwaves through the community, triggering an outcry that echoed far beyond the Texan borders. The public's outcry was not in vain. Their voices were heard, and the legal system responded. Faced with the impending release of Jones, authorities scrambled to bring new charges against her, effectively stalling her early exit from prison. The charges were not random. They were backed by mounting evidence of additional murders committed during her tenure as a pediatric nurse. The outcry was so intense that it changed Texas law forever. Genene Jones's crimes had far-reaching effects that have left their mark to this day. Her case, steeped in a dark perversion of trust, spurred a significant shift in Texas's criminal justice system. Outraged by her potential early release, the public demanded change, leading to the formulation of new laws. These laws, aptly named after Jones, were designed to prevent the early release of violent offenders, ensuring that justice would be served and the public safeguarded. But the shadow of Jones's legacy extends further. Investigations into her past continue, with authorities seeking to uncover the full extent of her crimes. The specter of potential victims still looms, a grim testament to the depth of her deception. Each new revelation only serves to underscore the magnitude of her atrocities, adding another layer to the nightmare that unfolded in the 1980s. The legacy of Genene Jones serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind the most seemingly normal facades.